All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. It says we're live. I believe we are live. So let's get it going. Tuesday's best. We're talking musical duos today. Casseroles. Did somebody say casseroles? Are we going to talk about casseroles? Yeah, we're going to talk about casseroles. And we asked the question today, will Texas Tech football make a bowl game? All of that tonight on the daily broadcast coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios. Brought to you by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty, our realtor in Raiderland. And, of course, by Pete's Tire Service in Robesville. Roadside assistance all around the South Plains. That's all you really need to know, but they have a great selection of tires as well. So check them out. Put it in your phone. It's Pete's Tire Service. You never know when you might need some roadside assistance. All right, we let the early arrivals get in. You know what to do. The audio is good. The video is good. Give us thumbs up, hearts, whatever else needs to take place. Share this with your friends. Invite them on in to the proceedings. Damon, Craig, the talking box is on. David in there. CJ jumping in as well. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Twitter, use the United Supermarkets text line 806-772-0197. All right. And we're taking our lives into our own hands here tonight in the Arctic Air Studios. I'll explain momentarily. Oh, I've been left out a little too long. Hi there. All right, let's get it going in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans. All you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You start your day there. We get your hot links going in the morning, your question of the day, our 60 seconds of Raiderland commentary. Never know what we're going to be talking about. That's why you need to head over to theraiderland.com every morning to get going. Coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios. A few more days where you need the air Arctic, then fall will be here. Eventually, fall will be here. Call the bear, Arctic Air. Kyle Rogers is our realtor in Raiderland. Good news for you. It's a buyer's market right now. A lot of properties are doing some price reductions. So this is the time maybe you're looking for. Get a hold of Kyle Rogers and see what he's got to offer. All right. What are we doing tonight? We're talking, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's best. We give you a topic. You give us 2 great examples of that. Tonight's topic, your favorite musical duos all time, regardless of genre, any style of music. Greatest musical duos all time. We also, tonight, always talking food in Raiderland. We make it official on Tuesdays. Best thing I ever ate. It's casserole season. It's soup season, chili season, casserole season. Let's speak of the greatness of casseroles. Those you love and those you'll never eat again. Hi there, Tuna. And finally, our question for you Red Raider football fans, college football fans, and Nancy Wilson from Heart. Does this Texas Tech team make a bowl game? Do they make a bowl game? Yes or no? Do they get the 3 wins the rest of the way? Do they go bowling or not this year? Let's see. Hey, Bob, glad you're there. Jamie jumping in. Doing my part, says Craig, for the week. Eating homemade tamales. Man, that sounds pretty good right there. Here's some good homemade tamales. Well, I'd settle for some homemade corn tortillas heated up with a little butter slathered on it. That would work pretty good as well. They're brothers. They're Bellamy's, and they're probably playing at the Coyote store in Gale sometime in the next 6 weeks. Seems like every time I turn around, I got nothing against the Bellamy's, but it seems like every time I turn around, they're right there. All right, use the United Supermarkets text line. Your tailgating headquarters for Texas Tech football. Yeah, Tech's on the road. You can still party Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can tailgate all weekend long. Lay-in supplies, United Supermarkets. And I always say check the ad specials. Check the ad specials. You are here. No, you're there. Why are you here? Is it a cop-out if I say it all depends on how much Morton plays? Nope. You have to look into your crystal ball, and if you don't have a crystal ball, get one. Then answer the question. Not a duo fan, but Hall & Oates. What you got against the duo? Huh? Why would you be anti-duo? Some of the greatest musical acts of all time. Duos. 6 and 6 goes bowling. So yeah, this will be what? How many years in a row now? This weekend when Jake Strong starts, that Texas Tech will be starting 3 different quarterbacks, and you're barely halfway through the season. How many years is that now? Chris, an optimist, and say yes to a bowl game. Say yes to the dress. Say yes to the bowl game. Yeah, Brooks and Dunn. There's no telling how many times I saw them play from about 1990, 89, 90 to about 93, 94. Good heavens. Tech beats BYUCF. +1 gets to a bowl. Yeah, I think it got to start this weekend. The Ulsters, the captain, and Tennille, come to find out years later, not actually a captain, but she was a Tennille. Weird. Judds, hated the Judds. Hated the Judds. Just, I mean, fingernails on chalkboard. You want me to leave a room? You want me to leave a room? Play the Judds. Put the Judds on. I'm out of there. Big Y, Naomi, and I don't want nothing to do with it. And it maybe it's because every year at the CMAs, you know, the Judds, duo of the year. Thank God Brooks and Dunn finally came along and started winning some of those. Captain and Tennille. Love did keep them together. It was a special kind of muskrat love. We've got favorite musical duos of all time, regardless of genre. We have tonight. Oh, this is good. This can't be good. I'm watching my two dogs outside the Arctic Air Studios, just sprinting down the tree line. Okay, now I see why they're doing that. That's good. They got into something today. I've already had to hose one of them off. It didn't help. Didn't help. They dug up some dead bird that had been like burned or something. Soot. It's not good. The Judds spelled backwards is Adouge. Eddie Van Halen and whoever was singing. So much hype this season. So many talking heads had them in the Big 12 championship game and New Year's Day Bowl. Very disappointing. Not sure it was the injuries. Might be, might not be. The hype started internally. Texas Tech internally started the hype train. This wasn't a media concoction. This was internal. Of course, when you got 700 people on the payroll cranking out videos and hype videos and this and that every day, you got to do something during the summer. But yeah, this was not a case of people putting on unfairly. This was Texas Tech throwing it out there and not being able to wear it this year when it comes to the hype. Waylon and Willie. Waylon and fill in the blank. Willie. Old Gary P. Nunn song, Cut and Putt. Come down to Willie, make a hit song. Record a little there, play some golf. Kid and play. Why are you kidding? Frank Beard never sang. Never had a beard either. Let's see. Oh, he did? When did Frank Beard sing? What did he sing on? I don't remember him singing, but then again, I'm not just like total historian on ZZ Top. Big and or Rich. Rich makes a good whiskey. Big is moderately retired. The old Music Mafia bunch. Boy, they were. I mean, what year was that? Probably 2002, 3, right in through there. Whenever they had their little 18 minutes of fame, and then, I mean, the worst thing they did to us was give us Gretchen Wilson. God rest her soul. So does Texas Tech make a bowl game? Yes or no? Can they get the necessary 6 wins from here? I fear that they're going to have to do it. If not all of it, some of it with Jake Strong at quarterback. Color me not a pessimist, but color me a realist. That if Behren Morton had been so beat up the last couple of weeks that he could barely practice, that he could barely go and practice, and then he took some wicked hard hits, obviously against Kansas State. Back's hurt, shoulders hurt. He just beat to hell. That one, it's a leaky vessel to put your hopes in that he can get through a game. 2, it's a pretty leaky vessel, I think, at this point, that he just runs back out there after being unable to play the rest of the game Saturday night. That Mr. Miyagi comes in and you're going Saturday. So do I expect to see him against BYU? I'd say it's less than 50% is what I'd put it at, that he starts against BYU. And that maybe you just take this one and go, we'll do what we can. Remember when, what was the kid's name? Tyner, who started at OU 1 year for Tech. And it was obvious that they just said, we're going to lose this game. What the hell? that you just say, all right, we're going to take our medicine at BYU. We give Morton all this week and try to get him ready for TCU at home. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Greatest musical duos. We are also, it says talk about casseroles, so let's talk about casseroles. Do you have any favorite casseroles? This time of year, do you consider this casserole season? If you're Methodist or Baptist in West Texas, you know what casseroles are. There are many I love. I love a good casserole. Any casserole that involves tater tots, by the way, sign me up for. But anything that involves tuna, I'm right out. As a child of the 70s, I did my part. All right. Broccoli casserole. I'll need to know more. I mean, if it's totally covered in cheese and there's no broccoli in it, we might be able to do something. Does Brooks get the ball 30 times against BYU? No, he won't get it 30 times. But he needs to touch it probably somewhere around 22 to 25 in meaningful situations. Don't be deceived by the stat thrower outers. Don't be deceived by the, what do you mean we're not running the ball? I've been getting 100 yards. What do you mean? It's when and how. When and how matters. Oh, we never forget the Church of Christers. Don't worry. There's some good casserole people as well. Every season is casserole season, says Mr. Dalby. Is it Dalby or Dalby or Dolby? I don't know. Yeah, the ubiquitous rice, cheese, and broccoli casserole. That's all right. It's good. It's all right. I know a lot of versions of the breakfast casserole. I'm a fan of several. You can get in on the United Supermarkets text line and talk about casseroles, musical duos, and whether Texas Tech makes it to a bowl game tonight, among other things. 806-772-0197. If you want to speak of the Cowboys, hey, they won a game. They beat their kind of mirror franchise there in Los Angeles Chargers last night. Chargers charged hard. They did what they do, man. King Ranch casserole, Texas legacy, yeah. Or is it? Did it come from Tennessee and was an import to Texas? Poppy seed chicken casserole, not good if you're taking a drug test. No on the green bean casserole, except at Thanksgiving. I'll have my no thank you bites. Mike Dalby for Lubbock County Commissioner Precinct 1. Don't forget it. It'd be cool if you were actually him in the same name. Corn casserole and hash brown casserole, good too. Hash brown, anything hash brown. Not just a chicken casserole, creamy chicken casserole. You ever had a hot dog casserole? Cut up wieners, tater tots, chili. Chili dog casserole is good. It's about season time, casserole season. I'll give it a few more weeks. Maybe the end of October, where we're due up our first average freeze on November 1st, early in the morning. Substitute the poppy seeds with black pepper. Yeah. Then you're just sneezing at the drug test. I still lean that Texas Tech can find 3 more wins. I have a hard time believing this ends up being a 5-win team, even with the injuries at quarterback and the problems we talked about with this defense at times and everything. I just have a hard time believing that there aren't 3 more wins out there because, again, let's take Texas out of the equation. They're still a good football team. You got to go down there and win. But there's nobody else as you look at. I'm looking at the schedule right now. There's no other teams out there that just say prohibitively you can't match up with. But then again, I said that against Wyoming. I said that against West Virginia. And I said that against Kansas State. And they made me a liar every single time, didn't they? So perhaps I'm engaging in the fallacy of illogic instead of logic, that when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Is this team telling us that that's who they are and we refuse to believe them? The betting markets refuse to believe them. That we just won't accept who they are. The Big 12 is all very even this year. Yeah, I still think Oklahoma and Texas maybe just a little bit better than some, but not much. What you're seeing, though, is the compression of talent all around college football. You're seeing also the addition of these super seniors all spread out, depth added to teams that might not normally have it experience-wise all across the board with the transfer portal. All of those things are contributing right now to a compression of talent, the likes of which we haven't seen in college football perhaps ever. Not since the leveling of the playing field in 1970, when freshmen were made eligible and they instituted the scholarship limit for the first time. And what happened when that happened? Texas Tech all of a sudden got pretty darn good in the early to mid 70s. Very interesting. Go back, read your history. Oh, look. Hey, look who jumped up. Okay, so I said early on, I could be taking my life into my own hands because the door to the Arctic Air Studios is open. I mean, you don't know who might show up. So, yeah. Somebody showed up. It happens. You want to say hi to everybody? Everybody say hi to Finch. That's Finch, everybody. There you go. What's the casserole Lubbock media would bring for potluck press box? That's pretty good. I need more time to think about it. Yes and no. Again, everybody got a COVID year theoretically. So you could have been a freshman in 20. Isn't that right, Finch? You could have been a freshman. So you basically got a lot of guys who have 5 and 6 years to play. Throw in any sort of red shirt, any sort of medical, and you get what we're getting right now. Are you done? Huh? Are you finished with this? So I'm hesitant to say that I think 25 would be the last year, I think, of that. If you have something to say, just, jump up there and say something. At least the other cat's not in here. Finch is the youngest. Finch is the littlest of the animals we've got. The hounds are outside for right now. Scout is somewhere doing his thing. And Finch has discovered my desk here lately. And it's like, oh, really? You want to get on the typing thing? Oh, you're trying to do something? Well, yeah, I need to be there. I need to be right there. Now, I just realized probably people on YouTube and Facebook or what is it, Twitter? They probably can't see it. There, they can see you now. All right. Technically, does Shuck not have 2 more years if he used all medical? I think next year is his last one. As I understand it, next year would be his last one. Don't quote me, though. It's entirely possible. I've given up trying to figure it out. I don't even worry about it. They're back. They're not back. Okay, whatever. See, I still lean to the idea that this team will make a bowl, even though they keep trying to tell me that they're not going to do it, even though they keep telling me that's not who they are, that they have lost 3 times to teams that we believe are inferior talent-wise, or at least have no advantage to you whatsoever in Wyoming, in West Virginia, and in Kansas State. So if you're going to go get the wins, where are they? You need to beat BYU, but I think you're going to have to do it with Strong at quarterback. Bo Nix has been playing for like 6 years now. Yeah, 8 teams, 6 years. It's like Fitzmagic in the NFL. Texas Tech had a player in the mid-'80s. I don't know. There's probably a couple on here that might remember his name. He played quarterback. His name was Aaron Cassee. And he literally was in college football for like 7 years. He started off at Texas Tech. He ended up, now you know you can't get up there. You get down there. You stay down there. You don't get over there. Started off at Texas Tech. He ended up like laying out a year. He had the medical red shirt. Then he had like another red shirt, a hardship type thing. Then he laid out a year. Then he was gone. And all of a sudden, I think he ended up at ACC or ACU. I guess it was ACU. I forget what year ACC became ACU and LCC became LCU. But anyway, so Aaron Cassee was like one of those guys that was just around forever. He was, I believe his last year was Jerry Moore's last year in 85. And I can't remember whether he got hurt or just flat out replaced when in the fall of 85, Jerry Moore finally said, we'll let this Billy Joe Tolliver guy try it. Tolliver had come in earlier in the year against Rice, and it was an end of the half deal. They were throwing a Hail Mary into the end zone. Twice he hits this guy on the hands, and he drops it. And the next thing you know, Lemuel Stinson is an All-American defensive back. Yeah. Say hello. That's how Lemuel Stinson got moved from receiver to defensive backfield and was part of a number one secondary there for Carlos Maynard and Spike or David McWilliams and Spike Dykes during that time frame. See, I think they get to 6, but I can't tell you. You got to beat BYU, in my opinion. And then after that, you ought to beat UCF. And I still refuse to believe I live in a world where Kansas is better than Texas Tech in football. I can't do it. If you're going to get up here, Finch, you got to get all the way up here. Intern cat. What are you going to do? Greatest casseroles, a few more minutes. Favorite musical duos. No one has said Buckingham and Nicks. Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham. The tumultuous. On again, off again, off again, off again, off again, on again, off again, off again, off again, off again, cocaine, off again, on again, cocaine, off again relationship. But that gave us the seminal album, Buckingham Nicks. As good as it gets. Nobody has given us Simon and Garfunkel. Real quick trivia question. What did they perform as? Not Simon and Garfunkel. What were their performing names when they first started all the way back in high school days? Has Kansas ever beaten Tech in football? Oh, yeah, several times. Don't you remember? Don't you remember up there? The horrible night? Field goal. Block. No, we're going to pick it up. Leon Lett is there. Dusty Dvorak got a redshirt medical after he beat the hell out of a guy that died for alcohol abuse. It's med. Yeah. And now when you see him on TV, you still think that he's drinking sometimes. Not a fan. Duo, the Civil Wars. Interesting. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Blues Brothers. Yeah. Turned a little act, a little sidelight act on Saturday Night Live into a full-blown movie. I told you can't get up there, Finch. Yeah, bite that electrical cord and see what happens. You'll only do it once. Answer is always Pink Floyd. David Gilmour plus Roger Waters. Plus one. Let's see. Nope, not the Judds. Simon and Simon. Which one was Simon? England Dan and John Ford Coley. Super 70s had a tweet on those guys yesterday. This show is on a mission from God. Hit it. I used to know the exact number of cars that were wrecked in the making of the Blues Brothers, and now I can't give it to you. You're going to fall down. The cat's going to fall down. My wife is still watching. I left the door open. Finch came in. Finch has made himself at home. Yeah, by all means, just go ahead and sniff and scratch on some stuff. Make yourself at home. Feel good. Oh, we're talking great casseroles. Are there any casseroles you guys hate? Also, greatest musical duos, favorite musical duos all time. Nobody's got the Simon and Garfunkel trivia question yet on the stage name that they performed under. It's two names. It's really easy when you think about it. Surely somebody knows this. And Tech football. It's really boiling down to do you think they've got 3 more wins in them? Do they get to it? If they get to a bowl game and win a bowl game, everything won't be forgotten. But there is mass power to finishing the year with a win in a bowl game. Ron White and Rodney Dangerfield. That's an odd duo. Were they ever on stage together? Has Hall and Oates been mentioned? Yes, they have. Daryl Hall and John Oates. She's a rich girl. Hate the green bean casserole. Like I said, I'll have my no thank you bite a little bit. You got to put so many of those little onion strings on top of everything. I just scoop off the little onion strings. I'm good to go. Feel good. Adam Sandler and Chris Farley. Fine musical duo. One of my favorite musical duos of all time. Miss Chris Farley. Where was I? I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Lady Raider road trip when found out Chris Farley had passed away. I think it happened on like a Friday, and then they announced it that night on Saturday Night Live. And whatever hotel we were staying in the process of getting snowed in, Couldn't get home on the flight. Waited all day at the airport, and then finally they found a bus, and we bussed all night back because we had to get back because it was right before Christmas break. So all the players and everybody was going home for a couple of days, and I mean it was just a beat down. Oh, and the worst part about that, there's more to this story. See, this is what happens. You mentioned Chris Farley. Now I tell a story. So we had hell getting in to Albuquerque in the first place. This was when it was not unusual for me, maybe the media relations assistant, somebody else, to fly in day of the game. Ambrosia, not a casserole. So we flew in that Saturday afternoon. But one thing happened trying to get out of Lubbock. Again, delayed. Weather. Should have known. Now, this is in 1997, I want to say. I think this is 97, 98. So I can check and see if the Lady Raiders played at New Mexico in 97, 98 in December. So this is kind of pre-cell phone and all that stuff. Instant communication is not possible. The Tech men are playing an afternoon game at the pit. Lady Raiders are going to play the night game. So I know that Jack Dale is there. So from the airport, we're able to get a call to press row to the men's SID, Sports Information Director, to say, hey, we got a situation here. I don't know if I can get there. I don't know what we can do. Can Jack hang around? And if I can't get there, do this. So I get there. Finally, we get there, and it's almost halftime. And Jack has done the first half of the Lady Raider game. And I mean, I hadn't seen him play all year. Not his fault. Not his gig. And, you know, I really felt for him. And he's like, missed the team flight going back. So he was going to fly back with us the next day, which obviously did not happen. So poor Jack had to sit around the hotel, sit around the airport the next day, and then ride the bus back with the Lady Raiders. And finally get home after all that mess. Interesting. Casserole. Yeah, we got the cat today. Casserole. Barry's watching. Outside right side. What a good man. Never complained. Never complained. Never said a word. Could have. I was just I'm so sorry, Jack. I'm saying, hey, golly, hey, you can't control the weather. He had a lot better attitude than I did. A couple more minutes left. Does Texas Tech make a bowl game? Yes or no? Favorite musical duos, top musical duos. Nobody's got the Simon and Garfunkel stage name before they went by Simon and Garfunkel yet. I'll give you. Somebody's going to Google it. It's Tom and Jerry. They performed as Tom and Jerry when they were first starting out. Cowboys last night. Anybody? And they won. And even today, people are just like, yeah, and they won. Won by a field goal over the Chargers. They did the Cowboy thing. They get a win against an average to bad team, and at least they didn't look really good doing it. That will help the Cowboy fans out there coming to grips with another year. That at least they didn't draw you back in, and you didn't see, oh yeah, this is an exciting game if you like 20 to 17 games. At least you didn't see Dak Prescott go, well, maybe, just maybe he's hitting his stride with this group. That you didn't see, a run game. You didn't see anything that made you, hey, these receivers really aren't as average as we think they are. You going to do this again? Stay out of that mug. Bench. Nope. So they didn't do it to you. Sound of Silence by Tom and Jerry. Just didn't have the same ring to it. Cowboys an afterthought. The Rangers going up 2-0. Yeah. Unstoppable Rangers. How about I help you out a little bit here, bud? There you go. Nice to see Jimmy Johnson at a Cowboys game again. Yeah. No bold, disappointed, but did not buy into all the hype. We'll see if you save the time on not buying into the hype, then it makes it easier. There's plenty of time for basketball, for baseball, for spring golf, for tennis. There's plenty of hype out there. All right, last chance. Favorite casseroles. Text line open 806-772-0197 on the United Supermarkets text line, where you can get pre-made casseroles. That's a heck of a deal right there. Tina Turner and Bryan Adams in the one collaboration that they did. When Tina Turner ruled the world, MTV discovered her. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Oh, was it Private Dancer? Is that the one? I think that was the one that kind of relaunched her back there. Going to pony up the $1 annual fee for Twitter. No. I'm going to sell a sponsor for it, though. Tech Soccer still rolling along. Be interesting to see when the draw finally comes out, you know. I guess they would have an opportunity to host. This is a dumb guy question here. Has Tech ever hosted an NCAA tournament game? Surely they have during the Becky era. Maybe not. I don't know. I would think the Johnny Walker Complex is big enough. Maybe. Collier on here. Collier, has Tech Soccer ever hosted? They did? Okay. I thought so. It seems like they would have. So you got like Manchester United. Who else? They might be coming to Lubbock. Liverpool, Swansea City. Not really up on the soccer, as you can tell. I guess I could see some of those that might be involved. That to be, have to wait and see. Got to wait for the bracket to come out. You don't know who they, Crystal Palace, who might be sent here. All right, we've accomplished absolutely nothing tonight and had a hell of a time doing it. It's casserole season. Go listen to some Buckingham Nicks tonight if you don't know of what I speak. If you are too young for that. And then we shall gather again tomorrow on Bandwagon Wednesday. We got to say goodbye to our people on Twitter.